Okay, hello everyone. Ang lecture natin ay o psychology pa rin. Ang title ng topic, Motivation in the Workplace. I'll talk about self-determination theory. Actually, this topic is a carryover of my series on motivation in the workplace. Doon sa nakaraan kong video on this topic, sinabi ko na meron akong mga theories of motivation doon na hindi ko muna i-discuss. Rather, gagawa natin ng separate lecture video. So, ito na yon. Okay? So, basically, again, itong topic na to is under motivation in the workplace. Marami akong mga ideas dito. It's based on this journal article na pwede nyong i-download and then basahin ninyo. And it's based on chapter 9 on the textbook by Michael Amott sa IO Psychology. So again, for my students, in connection to this topic, basahin nyo itong article na to, pati na rin itong chapter na to. Now, in connection to motivation in the workplace, bago tayo pumunta sa self-determination theory, this is the main question that I want to answer. Paano ba i-motivate ang mga empleyado and why is that important? Kasi according to studies, kapag ang mga empleyado matataas ang motivation, gumaganda ang performance in the workplace. So sila mismo yung nakikidabang sa mga sarili nila. Nagkakaroon sila ng personal accomplishments, tumataas yung sweldo nila. And at the same time, kapag motivated ang mga empleyado, nakikinabang din yung organization where they are working at. Nagiging maganda yung organization, nakakakuha ng awards, nakakakuha ng mga worldwide recognition such as Google, Apple. Bakit sila magagandang organizations? Kasi okay na okay ang level of motivation ng mga employees nila. That's why this question really matters in the field of IO psychology. Now, punta na ngayon tayo sa self-determination theory. Okay? So, we start with this principle na binigay ko rin to sa previous lecture ko. No? Employees are motivated by different reasons. In fact, in that lecture video na nauna dito, ito yung framework na present ko. Why is it important na dapat alam natin yung reasons bakit namomotivate ang mga empleyado? It has something to do with this model para magkaroon tayo ng domino effect. Kapag mataas ang motivation ng empleyado, tumataas ang employee engagement, nagiging maganda ang performance ng empleyado, pati na ng organization. But a deeper question to ask is, paano tumataas yung motivation? Paano ito pagalawin? Specifically, ng pataas. Para kapag tumaas to, tataas yon, tataas rin yan. Diba? So, yan yung significance why we need to know the reasons what makes employees motivated. Because if we know the reasons, sabi nga dito sa application, no, we will know how to motivate. At kapag nalaman natin paano mag-motivate, again, this domino effect will happen here, which is both beneficial for the employees and the organization. At dapat nyo ring tandaan, no, lalo na yung mga may planong pumasok ng HR world dyan, no, this is an HR concern. Isa ito sa mga areas na dapat tinatrabaho ng mga HR staff. Gagawa kayo ng mga programs, mga policies in the organization na pampataas ng motivation ng mga empleyado. And for you to be able to effectively do that, makagawa kayo ng mga programs na pangpataas ang motivation, dapat alam nyo to. Ano ba yung mga psychological factors out there na nakakapag-motivate sa mga empleyado? Dito ngayon makakatulong yung mga theories na i-discuss natin. Again, yung number 3, na-discuss ko na yan sa full lecture ko on motivation. Ito yung thumbnail ko dyan. So if you have time, panoorin nyo ng buo itong lecture na to. In this lecture, ang focus lang muna natin is on self-determination theory. It is a theory that answers the question, paano na mo-motivate ang mga empleyado? Now, the classic reading na dapat nyong basahin for you to deeper understand self-determination theory is on this article. Yan. Pwede nyo i-download and then basahin nyo on your own by Ryan and Deci. Big names yan. In the field of motivation, no? Ryan and Deci, talagang pag ginugol nyo yung pangalan nila, ang dami mga articles na lalabas. But in connection to self-determination theory or SDT for short, ito yung key article that you need to read. So sabi ng self-determination theory, ang tao raw nagiging motivated kapag nabibigyan siya ng tatlong psychological elements: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Mas mataas yung autonomy, competence, and relatedness mo, mas tumataas ang motivation mo. So kung nakamit ka ng taong walang kagana-gana sa buhay, mababa ang motivation, hulaan mo bakit. According to this theory, sa buhay niya, mababa yung ACR niya. So anong dapat mong gawin? Anong treatment plan doon? When you meet someone who has low motivation, pataasin mo yung ACR. Pag pinataas mo yung ACR, tataas din yung level of motivation. The same thing in the workplace. Kung HR staff ka na, napansin mo na mukhang bumababa ang productivity ng kumpanya because people have low levels of motivation. Anong gagawin mo? Bilang HR, i-review mo yung mga policies. Gawa ka ng mga activities na magpapataas ng autonomy, competence, and relatedness sa mga tao para tataas yung motivation, gaganda ulit yung performance. That's how the theory works. So, ang gagawin natin for the next slides, iisa-isahin natin anong ibig sabihin ng A, C, and R and how this contributes to employee motivation. Unahin natin yung autonomy. According to the SDT or self-determination theory, ang autonomy raw is when an employee is working because he or she believes that by working, nakakakuha siya ng autonomy. Another word related to autonomy is freedom. Diba? Pag sinabi mong autonomous, ibig sabihin freedom, meron kang kalayaan. So karamihan ng mga empleyado kaya sila nagtatrabaho kasi at the back of their minds, pag nagtrabaho sila, magkakaroon sila ng freedom. But to be more specific in the workplace, anong freedom yung gustong ma-achieve ng mga empleyado? Ito yung tinatawag nating financial freedom or financial independence. I'm sure narinig niyo na tong term na to, especially sa mga nagbebenta ng insurance. Isa lagi yan sa mga concepts they introduce sa mga binebentahan nila para ma-motivate na bumili. Pag bumili sila ng insurance, magkakaroon sila ng financial freedom in the future, which makes sense naman talaga, no? So, anong ibig sabihin ng financial freedom? Kapag ang empleyado nagtatrabaho, laging motivation niya, in the future, magkakaroon siya ng financial freedom. Ito yung technical definition ng financial freedom, yung nasa yellow box, yung summarized definition. Ibig sabihin na ng financial freedom, hindi ka hawak ng trabaho mo para kumita. Hindi yung kapag hindi ka nagtrabaho, hindi ka kakain. Kapag hindi ka pumasok, wala kang kikitain. Kapag ikaw, empleyado ka at ganun ka, pag hindi ka pumapasok, hindi ka kumikita, ibig sabihin nun, wala ka pang financial freedom. So karamihan ng mga empleyado na gustong magkaroon ng financial freedom, yan yung gusto nilang mangyari. Na kahit hindi sila pumasok, bigla silang na-stress, biglang gusto nilang magpahinga. Kahit hindi sila pumasok, meron pa rin silang kita, meron pa rin silang income na papasok pang satisfy ng mga needs nila. Hindi sila naka-imprison, hindi sila quote-unquote hostage ng trabaho nila in connection to the salary that they get. Kaya nga yung financial freedom na yan, connected yan sa idea ng early retirement. Bakit ang isang tao pwede na mag-early retirement? 30 years old pa lang, nag-resign na siya sa opisina, pero kahit nag-resign na siya sa opisina, meron pa ring income na pumapasok sa kanya. Bakit siya ganun? Kasi meron na siyang financial independence. Meron na siyang financial freedom. May sapat na siyang pera kahit hindi na siya formally employed. Now, this is one of the most powerful motivators ng mga empleyado. Marami mga empleyado sa Makati, sa BGC at kung saan-saan pa kaya sila nagtatrabaho because along the way gusto nilang magkaroon ng financial freedom. Now the question is, kapag empleyado ka, ano yung first step para magkaroon ka ng financial freedom? Ang first step dyan is savings. So one of the most powerful reasons why people work in the workplace para magkaroon ng savings. And this is so true. I mean, experiment mo. Tanong ka ng mga taong nagtatrabaho. Tapos tanungin mo sila ano yung isa sa mga goals nila sa buhay. Most likely ito sasabihin nila makapag-ipon. Para makapagpundar ng sariling business at yung business na yon yung magbibigay sa kanila ng financial freedom. Marami mga empleyado ngayon, hindi naman nila dream na forever silang empleyado. Along the way, they want to be financially free and resign from their current work. Diba? So, yan yung first step para mangyari yung financial freedom na inaasam ng marami, magkaroon sila ng savings. Kaya, in connection to this, no, ano ang HR application dito? Kung HR staff ka, at gusto mong i-enhance yung autonomy, going back to SDT, huwag niyong kakalimutan. Kaya natin pa nag-uusapan yung financial freedom kasi yan nga yung nagbibigay ng autonomy sa isang empleyado, right? So the first step is savings. So bilang HR, iisip ka dapat ng mga programs and policies that will help employees to have savings. And there are many ways how to do that. Some examples would be, dyan papasok yung salary increase. Kaya ang mga empleyado, pag naririnig nila na may salary increase sa organization, natutuwa yung mga yan. Lalo silang namomotivate magtrabaho. Idagdag mo pa dyan yung mga bonuses kapag magaganda yung performance. Ang tawag naman doon, incentive programs. Kapag maganda performance, naabot mo yung quota mo, maganda yung evaluation mo, maganda yung project na nirun mo, maganda ang feedback from the public, bibigyan ka ng cash prize na makakatulong sa savings nila. That's another way to enhance employee motivation, no? Another example is ang ano kasi dito, ang disadvantage ng salary increase tsaka incentive programs, maglalabas ng pera yung organization. Hindi naman lahat ng organization may budget pang salary increase. Hindi lahat may budget para sa incentive program. So ang isang approach diyan, if you cannot give your people fish, what do? You teach them how to fish. Hindi mo sila mabigyan ng pangdagdag ng savings nila, turuan mo na lang sila paano mag-savings. So, one possible program na pwede mong gawin is mag-hire ka ng speaker, mag-hire ka ng trainer na tuturuan yung mga empleyado mo paano mag-save. And one of the most sought after speakers when it comes to savings, itong si Chinkitan. And I agree. Talagang highly recommended itong si Chinkitan. Trainer kasi siya, no? Speaker, professional trainer. Marami na siyang mga clients, different organizations. Ang ginagawa ni Chinkitan, pupunta siya sa mga organizations na yon, tuturuan niya yung mga empleyado kung paano magkaroon ng savings. Pinapataas ni Chinkitan yung tinatawag niyang financial intelligence. Kapag mataas kasi ang financial intelligence ng mga tao, ng mga empleyado, tumataas yung chance na magkakaroon sila ng savings, which will sustain their level of motivation. Yan. So, ganyan magpataas ng, going back, autonomy sa mga empleyado. No? Tulungan mo sila na magkaroon ng savings para in the future, magkakaroon sila ng financial freedom. Now, before we go to competence, meron lang akong isang work behavior na gustong i-explain. Kasi itong work behavior na to, it has become a phenomenon na pwedeng ma-explain ng self-determination theory at ito yung tinatawag nating workforce exodus na nangyayari sa Pilipinas. Marami tayong mga workers, may trend na after nilang kumuha ng short experience in the Philippines, hahanap ng opportunities abroad at doon magtatrabaho. And because of this, marami talaga tayong mga workers, magagaling na mga workers, magagaling na teacher, magaling na doctors, magaling na nurses, yung services nila hindi natin na-enjoy. Na-enjoy ng mga tao in other countries. Yun yung tinatawag na workforce exodus. Now, what explains that? Anong nagmo-motivate sa mga taong to na iwan ang sarili nilang bansa para pumunta sa ibang bansa na hindi madali? Many studies have already established that. Ang daming mga psychological backlash when you work abroad, when you live your life alone abroad, no? So, pero in spite of those difficulties, bakit motivated pa rin sila magtrabaho sa ibang bansa? Anong sabi ng self-determination theory? Kasi, in connection to this, mas malakas mag-offer ng autonomy yung mga trabaho abroad compared to mga trabaho dito. Kung baga, mas magkakaroon ka ng financial freedom. Mas mabilis kang magkaroon ng financial freedom if you work abroad. Like for example, paano natin malalaman yan? Tignan mo lang yung salary. Kasi 'di ba, savings ang puhunan para maging financially free ka. So, saan ka kaya mas makaka-save? Saan ka mas makakaipon? Magstay ka sa Pilipinas or pumunta ka na lang abroad? Let's say you are a nurse. Itong statistics dito, nurse to 'di ba? Sa Pilipinas, ito ang sweldo ng nurse. Pumunta ka ng Vietnam, ganito. Pumunta ka ng Indonesia, ganyan. You know what I mean. Yung trend dito, mas mataas ang makukuha mong sweldo kapag pumunta ka ng ibang bansa, whether you are a registered nurse or a medical technologist. And these numbers have the same trend across many other different jobs. Hindi ko pa sinasabi dyan yung teacher. Hindi ko pa sinasabi dyan yung ibang professions. At hindi ko pa sinasabi dyan yung ibang bansa. Mga Southeast Asian countries pa lang yan. Mas mataas na ang bigay. Mas mataas ang bigay sa Amerika. Mas mataas pa kapag Europe. You get the point. So according to self-determination theory, bakit nagkakaroon ng workforce exodus? Kasi mas mataas ang chance na mas mabilis magkakaroon ng financial independence when people go abroad and work there. Mas mataas yung chance na magkakaroon sila ng autonomy when they become OFWs compared to when they just stay here in the Philippines to work. Nagigets nyo? So yun ang ibig sabihin ng autonomy under self-determination theory. Ngayon, punta naman tayo sa competence. According to SDT, ang isang empleyado na motivate magtrabaho yan kasi meron siyang nakukuhang competence doon sa trabaho niya. Ibig sabihin ng competence na feel niya na gumagaling siya sa trabaho niya. I work because I am becoming better. Napapansin niya yung skills niya, yung craft niya, nag-i-improve yung quality. Nagkakaroon siya ng professional improvement. Feeling niya gumagaling siya doon sa ginagawa niya. And that is a very powerful motivator to work. Because according to Abraham Maslow, i-relate mo to sa hierarchy of needs, kapag nafe-feel mo na competent ka, nafe-feel mo na magaling ka sa ginagawa mo, and people notice you because of that, ina-appreciate ka, nire-recognize ka, kasi magaling ka sa ginagawa mo, magaling kang magluto ng Chicken Joy, magaling kang mag-accounting, magaling kang magwalis, magaling kang maglinis ng opisina, you feel good. Nakukuha mo yung esteem needs mo in the language of Abraham Maslow. Kaya nga side comment ko lang, no, given this idea, this confirms the idea na hindi lang pera-pera talaga ang pagtatrabaho, which I mentioned in my previous lecture. One of the most important lessons yan ng motivation in the workplace. Huwag natin i-reduce ang mga empleyado sa pera-pera lang. Because as psychological beings, we go beyond money. Although mahalaga ang pera, of course, to secure our physiological needs. But after we secure our physiological needs, meron din tayong mga psychological needs na mas powerful in motivating what we do. Got that? And going back, yan nga yung na ibibigay ng competence. Kapag nafe-feel ng empleyado na meron siyang sense of competence in the workplace, most likely na mo-motivate magtrabaho yan. Ngayon, kung HR ka, ano yung mga pwede mong gawin to further enhance the competence of your employees para mo-sustain mo yung motivation? Number one, yan ngayon yung reason bakit nagbibigay ng training programs. Panoorin nyo na lang yung lecture ko on training. Marami akong sinabi about that. But one of the purposes why you give trainings to your employees is because you want to upskill them. A very important term in IO Psych, upskilling. Ito yung effort ng organization to give resources, to give knowledge to the employees to help them become better in what they do. Kapag nafe-feel ng empleyado na may pakialam yung organization sa kanila in terms of the quality of their work, ina-upskill sila ng organization, it's a very powerful motivation. Mas ginaganaan silang magtrabaho. And number two, reinforce their competence. Kapag nakikita ng organization, lalo na ng HR, na maganda ang performance ng empleyado, dapat i-recognize. Diba? Kasi kapag nire-recognize mo yan, binibigyan mo ng certificate, binibigyan mo ng award, binibigyan mo ng Employee of the Month or Employee of the Year, samahan mo pa ng cash incentive, talagang nafe-feel niyang competent siya. And it's a very powerful motivator. Ang mali ng maraming organizations, so in connection to number two, is they don't reinforce competence, but they notice the wrongdoings. Now, nothing against that. I mean, kung mali naman talaga ginagawa ng empleyado, dapat turuan. Dapat may punishments at certain point. Pero ang point doon is, hindi naman dapat na sa organization, mali lang yung nakikita. When an organization sees good things, good behaviors, competent performances of employees, dapat pinapansin din yon. Dapat nga yun yung mas pinapansin eh. Kaya may mga organizations pina-practice talaga yan. Lagi silang may Employee of the Month, meron silang Employee of the Year, so on and so forth. By applying numbers 1 and 2, namimigay ka ng training programs, ina-upskill mo sila, nire-recognize mo yung competence nila, ano nangyayari? Tumataas yung level of competence sa mga empleyado, which makes them more motivated to work. Okay? Now, let's move on to relatedness. According to SDT, isa sa mga reasons bakit ang empleyado ganadong magtrabaho kasi feeling nila, pag nasa trabaho sila, they feel at home. Kasama nila yung quote-unquote pamilya nila. Employees are motivated, according to the slide, because they have good relationships with their workmates. And this is something so important, especially in the Filipino culture. Kung nagpsikolohiyang Pilipino na kayo, Filipino culture is highly collectivist. Ibig sabihin, sa isang Pilipino na empleyado, talagang nagmamatter sa atin na maganda yung samahan sa opisina. Mahalaga na kasundo mo yung mga tao sa opisina. Mahalaga na friendship mo sila. Mahalaga na maganda yung connection mo sa kanila. Got that? Marami akong mga Pilipino na kakilala na mga empleyado, hindi na baling mababa yung sweldo nila. Basta okay yung relationship nila in the workplace. And vice versa, may mga kakilala rin ako ang tataasan ng sweldo, ang gaganda ng mga pwesto, pero umalis pa rin sa company. Bakit? Kasi toxic na yung work environment. Toxic meaning hindi na okay yung relationship niya with people around him or her. In other words, in the workplace, mahalaga talaga yung quality of relationships. Hindi yung trabaho ka lang ng trabaho ng sarili mo. Gagawin mo lang yung mga pinapagawa ng boss mo sa'yo. Mahalaga rin na nararamdaman mo na yung mga kasama mo sa trabaho, gusto nyo yung isa't isa. Kasi kapag nasira yung relationship sa trabaho, may mga social problems at in the workplace, it's one of the most powerful demotivators. Pampababa naman ng motivation yan. Karamihan ng mga tao na nasa-sense nila na hindi na sila okay, hindi na okay yung relationship nila with their workmates, most likely they move away from the workplace. Bumababa ang motivation, they move away from the workplace, hahanap na lang ng ibang workplace. Even in the field of sports, totoo yan. Especially when we talk about team sports. Diba? Kapag may empleyado dyan na nagsa-silent treatment na, may mga empleyado dyan na naninira ng mga office mates, or may mga empleyado na nagsuntukan na, wag naman sana. I mean, these things are red flags na mababa ang relatedness in the organization. So as an HR, you have to respond. Meron kang dapat gagawin ng mga interventions, mga programs para tumaas yung quality of relatedness. Mawala yung mga away, mawala yung mga issues among the employees. In fact, even in the Bible, Jesus knows this principle na mahalaga ang relatedness in the workplace to sustain motivation. Like for instance, in the book of Luke and in the book of Mark, no? Yun yung mga ikukwento ko dito, may instances na talagang yung mga disciples si Jesus nag-aaway-away against each other. Like in this passage, a dispute also arose among them dito mga disciples, as to which of them was considered to be the greatest. Nag-aaway-away sila, nagdedebate sila kung sino pinakamagaling sa kanila. And when Jesus heard this, nagkakainitan na, may dispute nga yung mga disciples, what did He do? He intervened. Jesus said to them, tapos may mga sinabi siya para matigil na tong away na to. Actually, in some Bible translations, ang translations of verse 25 is, and Jesus intervened. Why did Jesus needed to intervene? Because He knows na kapag nagpatuloy ito, bababa ang relatedness ng mga disciples in the group, bababa yung motivation nila to work as disciples. Sa book of Mark, mas specific yung nangyari. Ang pinagmulan pala nito si James and John, basahin nyo na lang on your own. O ano na naman ginawa ni Jesus? Ayan sa next passage. Jesus called them together and said, pinangaralan ulit yung mga disciples na hindi dapat sila nag-aaway ng ganyan-ganyan. Kasi nainis na yung mga disciples kila James and John. Diba? Nakalagay dito, no? When the 10 heard about this, kasi may request si James and John dito. Diba? Nung narinig yan ng mga disciples, nainis sila. They became indignant. So, yung word na yan, they became indignant, bumaba yung relatedness nila, Jesus intervened. Hindi niya hinayaan na magtuloy-tuloy yan among His disciples, so pinangaralan na niya kaagad. Okay, that's how important relatedness is in the workplace. Kaya nga, ang application nito in connection to relatedness is, mahalaga talaga na nagkakaroon ng team building activities ang mga tao in an organization. Kaya hindi sayang ng hindi aksayan ng pera kapag nag-i-invest yung organization sa team building activities. Paminsan-minsan okay lang mag-Boracay, okay lang mag-Batangas, okay lang mag-Subic. Kung ang mangyayari naman dyan is team building activities. Ang pinaka-goal ng isang magandang team building activity is to enhance relatedness. Kaya nagkakaroon ng team building. Kasi ang assumption after ng team building, tataas yung relatedness which will translate to higher motivation which translate to better performance. Kapag nagti-team building, dalawa ang dapat nangyayari. Number 1, strengthen the relationship. Kaya marami mga team building activities, yan ang goal. May mga games, no? May mga social games sa kapag ginawa yan ng mga tao in the organization, nagiging malakas yung samahan nila. At the same time, ang isa pang magandang activity during a team building is when employees open themselves to each other. Yung nasasabi nila, yung mga bagay na gusto nilang sabihin na hindi nila masabi in a typical work day. Kaya pwede nilang masabi yan during the team building activities. Yun. Kaya sa isang team building activity, kapag pumunta ka dyan, yan yung mga nangyayari dyan. Nagkakaroon ng mga ganyang group games. Again, ang goal nito is to strengthen, increase the solidarity of employees in the organization. Pero ito yung madramang part, no? Yung usually, they form a small circle. Tapos in this activity, all employees are free to say things to each other, whether negative or positive. Dito naglalabasan yung mga issues nila na tinatago na hindi nila malabas during a typical working day. Nalalabas nila yan sa team building activity. Kaya masaya talaga mag-team building. No? After a team building activity, the relationship, the relatedness is very strong. Which is again, a very powerful motivator for employees. So yan ang simpleng paliwanag ng self-determination theory. Ang bottom line lang dito is the more the organization, the more the HR increases autonomy, competence, and relatedness, nakakasustain ng motivation yan ng mga empleyado at kapag nangyari yan, going back to the framework, nabigay mo yung ACR sa mga empleyado, nagkakatotoo yung framework natin kanina. Asan yun? Ito. Na nangyayari yung domino effect na sinasabi ko. 'Di ba? Binigay mo yung ACR according to self-determination theory, tataas yung motivation, domino effect yan. Tataas yon, which is good. Okay? So again, kung HR staff ka in the future, yan yung dapat mong iniisip araw-araw. Ano kaya ang mga HR programs ang dapat mong i-propose? HR programs na pwedeng i-apply para tumaas yung autonomy, competence, and relatedness ng mga empleyado in the workplace. How about me, as a faculty member of De La Salle University, masasabi ko ba na sa workplace ko, kompleto yung ACR? Ako, in fairness, hindi naman sa pagiging bias, no? But in fairness, sa tingin ko naman, De La Salle University is doing a great job in increasing the ACR of their employees. Like for instance, in terms of autonomy, meron kami tinatawag na academic freedom as faculty members. We are free to express whatever ideas we believe in, basta in ethical reasons, in ethical ways, di ba? Hindi kami masyadong pinapakialaman sa mga syllabus namin. Hindi kami masyadong pinapakialaman sa teaching methodologies namin. So, pwede kaming magturo in a way na gusto namin magturo. Unlike in other universities, talagang yung dean, anong tawag doon? Tutok na tutok sa mga faculty. May mga kilala nga akong mga universities, yung mga dean, nakikialam talaga kung paano dapat magturo. La Salle is not like that. La Salle gives us the space, gives us the autonomy that we need. Gawin lang namin yung gusto namin gawin in connection to how we teach a subject. We are given freedom to do that. Yun yung autonomy part. Now, how about this one? Nag-email. Meron akong natanggap na email, meron daw sports fest ngayong 2024. Ano ba ang purpose ng sports fest doon sa tatlo? Sa tingin nyo, ano yon? Autonomy, competence, or relatedness? Definitely, that's relatedness. Kasi ang goal ng sports fest, by the way, hindi para mag-away-away. Kaya isa rin yan sa mga dapat bantayan ng HR. Kung nagpapa-sports fest kayo, tapos after ng sports fest, marami nag-away-away kasi nagkapikunan sa basketball, nagkakutsaan sa volleyball, hindi naging maganda yung sports fest. Kaya ako naniniwala dapat kapag nagpapa-sports fest, at the end of the sports fest, merong processing na nangyayari. Kasi baka may nagkainitan dyan, baka may nagkapikunan dyan. So after ng sports fest, edi lalong bumaba yung relatedness. Kaya dapat merong magpo-process dyan. Na bakit ba tayo nag-sports fest? Ano ba ang purpose? Usually, ang purpose sa sports fest, hindi para mag-champion eh. Although, gusto nilang mag-champion sa mga sporting events, no? Pero ang pinaka-goal ng sports fest is to increase relatedness of each other. Magkaroon ng positive moments with each other. May mga moments sa sports fest na nagtawanan kayo, nag-apiran kayo, di ba? Nalaro nyo yung mga sports na na-enjoy kayo. Yun yung point ng sports fest, hindi para mag-champion. Kaya sa mga future HR dyan, wag masyadong competent. Wag masyadong mataas ang competitiveness during sports fest. Dapat nangingibabaw pa rin yung solidarity, nangingibabaw pa rin yung relatedness. Yan. So anyway, going back, meron namang effort yung university to increase our relatedness via sports fest at mga ganyang outing. Yan, ito, HR ang may handle nito. Yung mga staff natin sa university, meron silang ganyang activity, nag-outing sila. Again, anong purpose ng outing? More than the vacation. Para magkaroon ng positive moments with each other which will increase their relatedness. So ano na lang kulang yung competence. Sa Lasal ba may mga programs ba na ina-apply to increase competence of the employees? Meron naman. Pero ito departmental level. Under to ng Department of Psychology, meron namang mga workshops, may mga training seminars, especially on research. Pampataas ang competence namin yan. Para ma-feel namin na magaling kami mag-research, para ma-feel namin that we are properly equipped to do research. Yun. So bottom line of these previous slides is again, De La Salle University is good in enhancing its employees' autonomy, relatedness, and competence. Para nasusustain yung motivation ng mga empleyado, gumaganda yung performance. Ayan. So yan ang sagot ng self-determination theory in connection to how to increase motivation. Bigyan mo sila ng autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Alright? So again, ulitin ko lang, may isa pa akong theory na diniscuss, yung intrinsic and extrinsic motivation theory, diniscuss ko in this full lecture, panoorin nyo. So kung may mga questions kayo or comments, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa comment section. Sana nakatulong tong lecture video na to in understanding employee motivation. Sir Howard here. Until the next lecture, God bless everyone. Bye-bye.